Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, April 7th. A very active weather pattern is setting up for much of the nation over the next week or two, partly as a result of the continuation of cold air outbreaks that will make it from Canada into the central and eastern U.S. We've kind of been focused on the North Atlantic Oscillation Teleconnection Index, which is now firmly in negative territory. And at this time of the year, when the NAO is firmly in negative territory, you have a more favorable overall weather pattern that will allow for the continuation of cold air outbreaks into the U.S. And with increasing warmth and humidity along the southern states, combination of that with cold air outbreaks across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Northeast really can make for an unsettled weather pattern. And indeed, it looks quite active going forward. That will include severe weather for many areas, snow for some areas, and heavy rainfall and strong thunderstorms for other areas. In the Mid-Atlantic region, it looks like in the short term, we have to deal with a warm frontal system that will cause some showers and thunderstorms from late today into tomorrow. Certainly some of these storms that form later today, tonight, or Wednesday can be on the strong to severe side in places like D.C. and Philadelphia, maybe even as far north and east as New York City, but a little bit less likely up there as compared with D.C., for example. Here's the current surface map, and here is that warm frontal system. We'll see the radar in a moment. Already a batch of showers and storms right in this area, moving kind of along that frontal boundary zone. And anywhere from D.C. to Philadelphia can see a strong thunderstorm late today, more likely tonight, into the day on Wednesday, maybe even all the way up to the New York City metro region. There can be some strong thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. Certainly all these areas along the I-95 corridor region will experience some shower activity from late today into the day on Wednesday. And then we have to deal with a strong cold frontal system that is now just starting to show up here in the southwestern part of Canada. Strong cold front will drop south and east over the next 48 hours or so, reaching the eastern states probably midday on Thursday along the I-95 corridor region. That will be associated with some showers, maybe a strong thunderstorm, and increasing winds. The winds will become quite strong on Thursday, and those strong winds will continue on Thursday night and Friday as well. Well, here's the latest radar loop from WSI's and telecast.com. A couple things I want to point out. I really want to highlight. First of all, here's that batch of showers and thunderstorms over the Ohio Valley, right along that warm frontal boundary zone. These will continue to drop east-southeast over the next several hours. And certainly a better chance for some strong thunderstorms, let's say in D.C. as compared with New York City. But even up that way, there can be some strong thunderstorms tonight. These showers and thunderstorms look like they'll arrive in the I-95 corridor region late today, continue tonight, and even into the day on Wednesday. Will turn much milder on Wednesday following the passage of that warm frontal system. A couple other things I want to point out. Notice the blues here. Still snowing again. Cold air outbreaks will continue. In fact, a colder than normal weather pattern will be setting up for the eastern U.S. Kind of lock in from late this week through the next week or two. Second half of April looking quite chilly across the central and eastern U.S. Doesn't mean it'll be below normal every single day. It won't be that way, but for that average period over that second half of April, probably below normal in much of the eastern half of the nation. Meanwhile, California continues to get hit even into April. Usually it starts to dry out this time of the year. Even Southern California has been getting in on some significant rainfall over the past couple of days. And right in this region right here, the Sierra Nevada of eastern California getting pounded by snow, which is a good thing because that acts as a reservoir for water, really. The snow melt during the summertime in the Sierra Nevada provides some well-needed water across much of California. So again, continuation of heavy snowfall for the higher elevation regions of the Sierra Nevada. Well, before we take a look at last night's Zero-Z GFS model run, I wanted to show what the Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma is predicting for severe weather chances in the Mid-Atlantic region and Ohio Valley throughout the day today, especially in the I-95 corridor region. We're dealing with late afternoon, tonight, and into the day on Wednesday, right around that warm frontal system, which is right in this area right here. This is the warm front here, pressing to the north and east, and this is the area where there can be some strong thunderstorms. Again, the time frame late this afternoon, tonight, and into the day on Wednesday. This generally will move in a northeastern fashion over the next several hours, and by tomorrow afternoon we'll be on the warm side of that frontal system in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Expect to see 70 plus degrees on Wednesday afternoon, but we may have to pay the price for certainly for some showers and maybe even some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms, including hail in parts of the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, late today, tonight, into the day on Wednesday. Well, let's take a look at last night's operational run of the GFS at 0Z. And first I want to take a look at the 850 millibar temperature anomalies. We've talked about the continuation of cold air outbreaks into the central and eastern U.S. over the middle and even the latter part of the month of April. And that really keeps things unsettled. This time of the year, with the increasing strength of the sun, we really start to see some warm and humid conditions across the southern U.S., especially given the fact that the Gulf of Mexico sea surface temperatures are well above normal. You combine that with some cold air outbreaks from the north and west, you have the potential for strong storms, you have the potential for severe weather. In fact, this weekend, a really scary looking setup for severe weather across the middle part of the nation. And we'll talk about that over the next couple of minutes here. But let's just see all these cold air outbreaks going forward here in this particular model run. Here we are starting the day on Tuesday. Warmer than normal conditions throughout much of the central and eastern U.S. over the next couple of days. Again, warmer tomorrow as compared with today in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. But here we go. By Thursday, we're starting to see cold air outbreaks showing up here across the northern plains. Thursday, strong cold front right in this region right here, passes through the I-95 corridor probably midday, early afternoon on Thursday. It will be accompanied by some showers, maybe a strong thunderstorm on Thursday as well. So we have the cold frontal activity, showers and thunderstorms on Thursday with a warm front, showers and thunderstorms from late today, tonight, into the day on Wednesday. And look at this cold air outbreak. It certainly makes it all the way into the Mid-Atlantic region by Friday. The winds will stay quite strong on Thursday night and Friday, potentially damaging wind gusts past 45 or 50 miles per hour or so. Colder than normal conditions here to end the week and begin the weekend. Let's keep moving forward here. Still stays colder than normal, at least at the 850 millibar level right through much of the weekend. And here we go, another cold air outbreak showing up here. This is a Sunday forecast map. Yet another cold air outbreak, and there could be a storm in between the late week cold air outbreak and that one that will arrive in the eastern U.S. early next week. There could be a storm to deal with Sunday, Monday time frame in the eastern U.S. Here we go. Look at that cold air relative to normal for the middle part of April. This is now Monday. Next Monday, April 13th. Again, there could be a storm to deal with in this transition to the next cold air outbreak. And look at that. That just kind of encompasses much of the central and eastern U.S. We really lock into a colder than normal pattern for much of the eastern half of the nation, beginning first with this late week cold air outbreak and then with a reinforcing shot early next week. Let's just keep moving forward here through next week. Now it stays colder than normal for much of the eastern half of the nation, maybe a reinforcing a reinforcing shot by the end of next week, and we may have another storm to deal with in the middle part of next week. So colder air pattern starts to set up late this week and continues for at least a week or two, it looks like, in much of the central and eastern U.S. Well, now let's take a look at the surface forecast maps from the last night's 0Z GFS model run. Again, some showers and thunderstorms already showing up on the radar out in the Ohio Valley along that warm frontal boundary zone, which really just kind of lies in this fashion right here from northwest to southeast. That batch of showers and thunderstorms moves to the east-southeast over the next several hours, probably reaching the I-95 corridor region late this afternoon. Continuation of showers and thunderstorms tonight and on Wednesday. And again, there can be some strong to potentially severe thunderstorm activity, especially south of the Mason-Dixon line late today, tonight, or Wednesday, but even a strong thunderstorm possible all the way up to the New York City metro region. Really kind of intensifies in the overnight hours with those showers and thunderstorms. That tends to wind down later in the day on Wednesday, and again, watch for a pretty decent jump in temperatures tomorrow as compared with today. The 60s today, the 70s likely tomorrow, and then we move ahead to Thursday. And here is that strong cold frontal system moves in during the daytime hours on Thursday into the I-95 corridor region. Strong cold high pressure across south central Canada, a very cold air mass for this time of the year, the middle part of April. Again, that strong cold front on Thursday can produce some showers, maybe a strong thunderstorm, and the winds will become quite a factor later Thursday night, and Friday in the eastern U.S. Let's move forward. Here we go by Thursday night. The front clears the coastline. A pressure gradient between that strong high over south central Canada and a strong storm over New England, causing more accumulating snow up across northern New England. This pressure gradient will result in strong northwest winds, maybe even potentially damaging wind gusts of 45 or 50 miles per hour or so. Again, late Thursday night, and Friday. Here we are into the day on Friday. Look at that pressure gradient between this 1024 high over the middle of the nation and a 967 low, causing some snow in Maine. Very tight pressure gradient here. Strong northwest winds, again, potential damaging wind gusts Thursday night, Friday. Very active weather pattern setting up for the next week to two. Let's keep moving forward, and here we go. By the weekend, watch the southern states here as another storm system starts to take hold, and again, can be a severe weather outbreak this weekend across much of the central and southeastern part of the nation. That ultimately results in a pretty good storm system that will cut up to the north and east and could have an impact much of the eastern U.S. on Easter Sunday going to the early part of next week. That kind of intensifies as yet another cold air outbreak drops from Canada into the northern U.S., and that'll slide all the way into the eastern states by the early part of next week. Here we are by the late Monday forecast. This is next Monday. That next cold frontal system pushes on by, and yet another cold air outbreak arrives in the eastern U.S. And again, with this cold air outbreak arriving in the eastern U.S. late Thursday night, and Friday, really sets up a pretty cold weather pattern for this time of the year going forward, probably throughout much of the second half of April in the central and eastern U.S. Again, it doesn't mean every day will be below normal, but on average, from mid-April on through to the end of April, looks like a colder than normal period for much of the central and eastern U.S., and it will remain quite active across the nation. Again, in the short term, watch out for some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms late today, tonight, and on Wednesday in parts of the Mid-Atlantic region. That's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.